morning. Welcome into your Monday morning episode of Hoops Talk with Dave. I'm your host, Dave Smith. Thanks for joining us here on Monday, March the 31st. Your Final Four field is set. Saturday night in San Antonio, Texas, we will have our Final Four college basketball teams fighting for the chance to win the national championship this season. And of course, all the talk has been about how it's been chalky, how the favorites have been winning every game. There's still been some really good basketball, but we do now have all 4 1 seeds in the Final Four. That's right, all 4 1 seeds. The first time since 2008 this has happened. And our first matchup on Saturday evening between two SEC squads, the Florida Gators taking on the Auburn Tigers. And this is going to be, both these matchups are going to be incredibly fun. This one I think I'm more excited for just because both these teams get up and down the floor, score a lot of points. They know each other. They've played each other. And so this is going to be a ton of fun. Florida able to escape a big comeback against Texas Tech. What a comeback from Walter Clayton Jr. He is the closer. He is the guy. When the game's on the line, they're going to him. Florida, what a run. What a run to close that game against Texas Tech. If you haven't seen the last 3 minutes of that game, head to YouTube. Bleacher Report posted a video of the last 3 minutes of that game. It is cinema. It is absolutely incredible to watch. The Gators taking on the Auburn Tigers, number 1 overall seed Auburn Tigers, but they are the underdog in this game, and they actually have the worst odds left to win the championship. So they are fully into underdog mode here. They were able to beat Michigan State yesterday, taking care of business. Johni Broome going out with an injury, coming back from injury, stepping up, nailing a big-time three. He did not look 100%, so we'll have to watch the injury report throughout the week, but I would be shocked if there's any type of restriction placed on him for this weekend's Final Four games. So once again, you've got number 1 seed Florida, overall number 1 seed Auburn. The Gators sit as 2.5-point favorites. Tip-off for that one Saturday evening at 6:09 p.m. Eastern. In our second matchup from San Antonio, number 1 seeded Houston taking on number 1 seed Duke. And Duke has the best odds to win the title, which I think when you look at how this squad has been playing, how they've been dismissing teams, taking care of business, they have earned it. They beat Alabama by 20 points on Saturday night. 1 week later, they'll take on Houston, where they are a 4.5-point favorite over the Houston Cougars, who, by the way, absolutely dismantled Tennessee yesterday. Tennessee had 15 first-half points. The Volunteers able to cut it into single digits into the second half, not able to come back on Kelvin Sampson's squad because this team is built to get a lead and hold it. So this Houston team, you're not going to be able to come back on them. There's no way you can be down by 21 points, which is how many Tennessee was down around halftime, and try to come all the way back. It's just not going to happen. You've got to start well against this Houston team. I think Duke does it. I still like Duke to win the title personally. They were my pick before the tournament started. But nonetheless, both of these games are going to be incredible. Florida versus Auburn, Saturday, 6:09 p.m. Eastern. And then 30 minutes after, so the estimated tip time currently sits at 8:49 p.m. Eastern between number 1 seed Houston and number 1 seed Duke. Both these games taking place on CBS Saturday night. Diving into some NBA action taking place tonight. We have less than 2 weeks left in the NBA regular season, actually 13 days. So not this upcoming Sunday, but the following Sunday is the final day of the NBA regular season. It has gone so fast. We've got teams fighting for playoff position, teams fighting for a playoff spot in general, or a play-in spot, or a spot to pick Cooper Flag. All these teams fighting for all sorts of different stuff. We've got a doubleheader on TNT tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, coming to you from Memphis. The Boston Celtics in town, 4.5-point favorites over the Memphis Grizzlies. Once again, tip-off, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on TNT. And of course, the big storyline in that matchup is the Grizzlies firing head coach Taylor Jenkins. The real reasoning behind that firing has not come out yet, to my knowledge. It has not been made public. Memphis was sitting tied for the 4th spot in the West, which is great playoff position for Memphis. Not really sure what led into that decision there, but the Grizzlies looking to still fight for it. They're still 44-30 on the year, so they're going to make the playoffs. It seems all directions point towards it. Now, the West is tight, so if they collapse, they could fall out. But I like their odds to still make the playoffs, and they'll be looking to get a big win over the defending champions tonight. In your second game in your TNT doubleheader, taking place at 10 p.m. Eastern, also on TNT, Lakers playing host to the Houston Rockets. LA, 5.5-point favorites over Houston. Once again, tip-off for that one, 10 p.m. Eastern on TNT. In your NBA League Pass game of the night, coming to you from Orlando, the Clippers are in town, taking on the Orlando Magic. Clippers 3.5-point road favorites over the Magic. Tip-off, 7 p.m. Eastern on NBA League Pass. And that will wrap up today's episode of Hoops Talk with Dave. I'm your host, Dave Smith. Hey, be sure to throw me a follow on X at Dave Smith NBA for all the latest news, updates, highlights, videos of everything I've been referring to. You don't want to miss it. A lot of great content coming for you there. A lot more great stuff coming for us here as we get down the home stretch of the NBA Only 4 teams left in college basketball. A lot of exciting stuff happening in the hoops world right now. I'll be sure to continue to bring you all the great content. Once again, I'm your host, Dave Smith. Thanks for being here on Hoops Talk with Dave.